Welcome to my new living room. These are all of my books. I have a lot of them. So I have to put these books on these shelves. Most of my books are art books, so they're pretty big, and that's all I have room for right here. Anything that is like a novel, I'm gonna have to get another shelf for. The way I had it set up before, one shelf was all my vintage books and one shelf was my art books. So I think I'm gonna do that again. I inherited a lot of vintage books from my grandparents. These are like my grandma's vintage craft books, just some of them. Needlepoint and quilling. I just think that like the font is really fun. I love the illustrations and just like the motif that this medium creates. I also love when vintage books have a few certain pages that are in color because the color palette is always so good, especially with the old printing. I'm like trying to remember which shelves I had it all organized on before because I did like it. However, I got rid of a lot of books. I had been keeping some of them just because they were like sentimental since they were my grandparents, or maybe they were just super old, but I tried really hard to detach myself from that and just keep the books that I actually look at, but I actually find inspiring, not keep something just because it's from like the 60s. So I'm pretty sure these were down here. My grandpa was into woodworking, so I have a lot of woodworking or just like wooden furniture books. I got rid of a lot of the instructional ones just because they're not very useful for me, but this one is more of a curation, and there's just something about like these black and white photos and then combined with text. Plus I think the cover of this one is really cool. This is one of the how-to woodworking books that I did keep, how to build shaker furniture. Looking at it now, I don't really know why I kept it. I think I just wanted to keep like one or two of the shaker books because it's pretty cool. And then I did also keep making authentic Pennsylvania Dutch furniture. This one has a lot of pictures, and I find painted chests like this super inspiring. Maybe it's because I like painting little wooden boxes. I'm pretty sure I kept this because I think the name is funny. It's called From Gunk to Glow, or The Gentle Art of Refurnishing Antiques and Other Furniture. First box is done. Only about 13, 14, 15, 16, 28 more to go. Is that crazy? I don't think so. However, what is crazy was bringing all of these books up the stairs. That was really hard. But this is my collection. I feel like I don't collect a lot of stuff. Maybe I do. Now I'm finding some of my mom's and her siblings' children's books, and I'm wondering if I should put them with the children's books that I have, like the newer ones, but it just feels wrong to mix the collections for some reason. This is one of my favorite covers. The illustrations are also adorable. You know what? Maybe I will try and have the shelves aligned so that it's like my picture books and then the vintage picture books, and they kind of match up, but they're separated. We'll see. Here, this is the first of my collection. We have Hilma, Maurice Dennis, and Chris Johnson. So these are all painters. This is one of the newer books in my collection. I don't think I've gotten to talk about it much on here, but Chris Johnson is a super cool artist. His style leans a little bit illustrative. I love his bright colors, and everything that he does just feels very playful. He also includes a lot of text in his paintings, and you know me, you know that I love text and image, so I will just set the painting books there for the meantime. I have some of my grandparents' old textbooks. This is a dictionary. I always keep dictionaries just because I think you can get a lot of ideas from words. I think it would be a fun way to get an art prompt, just flipping to a page, finding a word, and then making something inspired by that. Here's a New Yorker book. It's funny because I have one, and then this is my grandpa's edition, and he was very into New Yorker cartoons. Actually, just any cartoons in general. Our family group chat would get like multiple cartoons sent a day from him, which is pretty cute. All right, this is a box of my journals. I haven't set up my desk yet, so I currently have nowhere to put these. But we also have Hockney in here and my Illustoria magazines. If you're into illustration or you're just a crafty person, you gotta check out Illustoria. They're by the publishing company McSweeney's, and McSweeney's does like quarterly issues with a different theme. These also have a different theme, like color, senses, mystery, myth, rainforest. Just fun stuff. They're meant for kids, so they will feature kids' artwork in here, but it's also a lot of activities, or maybe some little infographics like this one about the medieval era. One of the coolest things, if you're into children's book illustrations specifically, is this little bookshelf section in the back. It just shows like the hottest kids books right now. Kind of like those up there. I normally don't even keep them with the rest of my art books, but I feel like I'll look at it more there. Oh, my zines are in here. Maybe I'll put them with my zines. That makes sense together. More art books. Here, top 3 are all pet books. Scottish Terrier, Shih Tzu, You and Your Cat. I got this book before I got my very first cat because I was never a cat person growing up and I was a little bit nervous about taking care of a cat. Then we have the amazing Linda Berry books. I talk about these all the time. These are great artist workbooks or just like creativity workbooks. Maybe you tried the artist way and you didn't get very far. You should check out these. Rookie magazine. Yes, okay. I feel like Rookie magazine makes so much sense next to Illustoria. I might have to do that sideways or something. More magazines that I can put in my little magazine section. Since I draw a lot of cars, one of my classmates when I was in college gave me this Truckin' magazine, and this is one of the first like vintage magazines that I ever got. I did not have a big collection of art books back then, so this one is a little bit sentimental. I also got this one in college at an antique store, Popular Mechanics from 1957. At the time when I got this, I was just like not exposed to these older publications, so I thought it was really cool, and it still is. More magazines, but more indie ones. This one I got at this amazing graphic novel art book store in Philadelphia. It's called Partner & Sons. If you're ever there, I was like a kid in a candy shop. It's pretty amazing. So I have this one. I really liked this artist's illustration style, especially the way they draw faces. That can go over here. And then this one I picked up and I didn't really know much about it, but it's like a very DIY magazine. So of course I love that. I feel like magazines like this, you don't just come across them all the time. So whenever I see them, I have to get it. This is called Mishu Magazine. I might be saying that wrong, but it's very personal. There's like a picture of the staff in the front. This magazine is a papery space where you can take a break from your screens and still connect with people all around the world through art. This has a very personal, curated feel, so I love that. The Worm book. These fit so perfectly. It's very satisfying. I'm just so excited about my little book corner. It's gonna make the room so cozy. And this is my first time living out away from my parents. I'm living with my boyfriend. It's really cool to be able to just like put stuff in the main living space because I've only ever had my bedroom. Another thesaurus. This one is pocket sized. It's really cute. These were some of my other first art books. I know that they're not like traditional art books because it's not like a collection of an artist's work, but I consider these art books even though this is just a repair and tune-up guide for small engines. But these were some of the first things that I looked at for art inspiration in the book world. I remember being really into these diagram like how-tos. Oh, the cross sections, I really liked those. I'll be honest, I don't look at these as much as I used to, and now they're a little bit more sentimental. Okay, this is the first children's book of my collection. This one's really cool. It's called The Art of Rewilding. It folds out like really long. And I teach kids art classes, so I always like to do a map project, and sometimes I will bring this in as inspiration for that, and I'll have one kid come up and like pull it out. So then we're standing across the room with the book fully displayed and the kids are all like, whoa. And I just think it's so cool to show them like what a book can do. Right now, I might not be putting them exactly where I'm always gonna keep them, but it's better to just get them on the shelves and then I can rearrange later. These are my boyfriend's books. So they're more like fantasy. I got him this book because he used to have it when he was little. It's The Way Things Work. It's a pretty cool book, especially for kids. Since it's oversized, we'll put it on the art book section, maybe in the kids section actually. He also really likes travel books. I think his books will go on our reading area. I think we're gonna have to get another bookshelf. I'll get the art books all on first, see how much space I have left over, if I can fit any of the novels, and we'll go from there. I have this old Richard Scarry book. I love the way that Richard Scarry just labels things in the picture. Like over here, chipper, chemicals, digester. And there's just so much to look at. You really get lost in his worlds. Then these are all like different places. Yellowstone, Cape Cod, nature magazines. Some flower books from my grandma. The only thing is my flower section got kind of full. It's fine, they're kind of connected. I'm getting tired. Oh my gosh. Now we're back to some more DIY books. This is A Girl's Life, and I've been really excited to talk about it because it's just so cool. It was published in 2002 and it has a very 2002 type vibe. I love the mix of collage in here with painting. I think that's just so fun and playful. This is what it's about. Celebrity crimes, bad hair days, cleaning up the earth, and helping your best friend for life out of a scrape. That's what a girl's life is like these days. Isn't that just so early 2000s rom-com coded? So that fits perfectly up there. Here's more textbooks. My grandma studied music in college, so I have a lot of her music books. I don't really know much about music, but vintage music books are cool. Yay, more of my art books. My like newer contemporary art books, but I'm getting so tired. I don't want to stand up, but I will. Here's the progress right now. More Linda Berry. And now we're finally getting into my graphic novels, which I was excited about because I found Understanding Comics earlier and I was like, where are the rest of them? I don't know where they're gonna go yet. I'm kind of organizing off of vibes, which makes sense. How else would I do it? This one's kind of a mix match of different stuff. We have a tote bag, photo album. Oh yeah, I have my Hess truck. My grandpa used to send me and my cousins a Hess truck every year for Christmas, but I was thinking of displaying it. Normally I just display the box, but the truck is in such a cool shape. So I was thinking of putting it up here. That looks pretty good. Okay, now this book, I'm kind of having a dilemma with where I want to put it. This is The Beauty of Everyday Things, which is a book that I would read. So it doesn't have pictures, but the topic of it is like very related to the types of art books I like. So I don't know which shelf to put it on. I'm just gonna keep this one aside. It's starting to look so cute in here and feel very me. Oh, okay. So these are all of my like more art theory books. So maybe we will keep these. Maybe we'll put them on this shelf. I like that. I like that. This is my little map and diagram section. It'll get a little bit bigger. I really want to do a video all about my favorite map books because map books are one of the main genres that got me into collecting art books. Oh my gosh. I was having a hard time. Like, where am I going to put my graphic novels? And then I realized the top shelf is perfect because it goes from like magazines and zines into graphic novels, which makes so much sense. So as we know, I've been having a dilemma about children's books, keeping vintage with vintage or combining vintage with new. And I combined them, but this is like a really big shelf. So I feel like I have to save this for the big stuff. And this area feels like it's wasted space. So, oh, it doesn't fit there. Some of them will. But yeah, I gotta figure that out. Okay, it's been a few days. I have brown hair now. It looks black, but it's gonna fade out a little bit to brown. I'm feeling weird about it. My hair has been through a lot. So let's talk about the books. Here it is. I think it's so cute. I love it so much. Yeah, it's fully done. The rest of the apartment is not, but the books are the most important thing in here and they're done. I added little trinkets throughout and I think that makes it really cute and fun and interesting. Let me give you the tour. Starting on this side, this is mainly my collection. I did end up mixing and matching my books with my grandparents' books. I think it's only natural, especially over time as they become more mine. Up top, we have History of Information Graphics, probably the best map book I have, but it's oversized, which is why it's up here. This is my jewelry box and a cute sign that I think perfectly frames the corner. As you remember, these are my magazines. Originally, I had my zines here, but I ended up moving them into this little basket. I think the basket adds some nice texture to the area. Zines are so small that it gets a little bit cluttered looking. Then this section is perfect for my McSweeney's. This is just one issue of McSweeney's. Sometimes they send them in like a different format than just a book. So this one came in a whole box. And this little antique cat that I love so much. It's a vase, but I never put anything in it. And then also my Eames House of Cards. I've talked about it in other videos, but it's all these different patterned cards. The backs all look like this, designed by Charles and Ray Eames, meant for kids. You can stack them together and build a little paper house. Some of them have photos on them. Some of them are just solid colors. They're really amazing, super fun for kind of like collage play. So I'm glad this has a home on my bookshelf now. But yeah, the magazines bleed into the graphic novels, which I ran out of room for, so they continue over here. which then goes into my grandparents' textbooks. This is something that was always at my grandparents' house in the living room. It's like a little I Spy thing, so you can shake it, and the bottom has a list of everything that you can find inside, like pom-pom, a ring, a top hat. Again, I like the texture that this added to the shelf, and it kind of fits perfectly. Also over here is my grandma's jewelry box, and it plays a little song. But I think this little box is beautiful. It always sat on her dresser. I just don't have anything to put in it right now, but I'm sure I will later. It's nice to have it on display though. Okay, this shelf is like my craft books. We have The Art of Memory Collecting by Martina Calvi. And then this section ended up just kind of being like books that fit perfectly here. And that bled into more art theory books like Susan Sontag. Over here we have a few oversized graphic novels, and then the mini like art theory books like another Susan Sontag, John Berger's Ways of Seeing. This is a classic for anyone interested in like just getting into art history or a little bit of theory. Check this one out. Next are more oversized traditional art books, painting books, a collection of artists' work. I don't really know what these are, but I put my Kindle here. These are some like extra children's books that were too small to put down here. This is such a big space. I wanted only big books to go here. It just felt like a waste having those take up a spot here. These are all Bernstein Bears. I don't know. I just really liked them when I was little. I don't really look at them anymore, but it felt like I had to keep the whole collection, so I did. This is a little vintage jar, and inside we have a collection of matchbooks and used stamps that have been torn off of envelopes. It just feels like an art project waiting to happen. And then we have kind of like adventurous, outdoorsy repair type books, like the handyman book. Next shelf is furniture, interior decorating, and then into nature. There was no room for flower books in the nature section, so they're up here. It got a little random. I started getting tired. And then I needed extra room to fit my novels, so those went here, as well as up here with my little pizzazz mobile that I made. I ended up putting a thing so I can hang it on the wall, but I think it looks kind of cute right there. My mom made this one when she was in her 20s. It's decoupaged, and then there are these little roses inside. And then again, just kind of extra stuff. So this is the bookshelf where I put all of my boyfriend's books, as well as a few fun things like this Hot Wheels car painted in glittery nail polish. And then this is my desk area. I was like insistent on having the bookshelf that high. My boyfriend did not really have fun installing it, but it was worth it. These are my journals, and then I put some fun things up here, like a little Monchichi and a Fugler. So yeah, that's my bookshelf. It was a lot of fun, but I'm very happy it's over and everything is in place. Now I just got to get the rest of the apartment together. Let me know how you organize your books. I'm super curious. Do you have them split up into like different categories? Do you have them on one bookshelf or spread around your house? Let me know. Thank you so much for hanging out with me, and I'll see you next time. Bye.